Hello! Welcome to our third class. Of course, we are still on Unit 1, which is titled All About Me. Today, we're going to use the student's book. We're just going to focus on page 12, okay? Yeah, we're going to use the student's book. But before we start, you guys, I want you guys to know something, and then please tell your other friends in case they haven't been participating in our classes, okay? So everything you guys are doing in terms of homework will be graded, and then I will give you guys your first 10 points, okay? So how am I going to do this? Between June and, well, wait, no. Between May and June, we would have done 6 assignments using Google Classroom, okay? So between May and June, we will cover 6 assignments, and all of them, I will grade them out of 10. So that means for everything, I will actually mark out of 60, okay? Now, let's say that, look back. Let's say out of 60, out of all the assignments you guys will do, let's say look back will get 12 out of 60. That means I will say 12 divided by 60 times the 10 points that you are aiming to get. So by 1 July, Lookbat would have gotten 2 out of 10. And this will be your first 10 points. I'm sure it's pretty much the same system. To my new students, what we do is that before midterm, you will get 30 points for activities and 20 points for midterm. After midterm, another 30 points for activities and 20 points for finals. And that makes it 100, okay? So already we are going to have our first 10 points for activities. Everything that we'll cover in Google Classroom, I will mark it. It's definitely out of 60. Everything we'll do in the classroom will be out of 60. And then whatever you get out of 60, I will divide. 12 divided by 60 times the 10 points we are aiming for. And that will be your first 10 points of the term, okay? So if you have friends that are not doing my work, please tell them to get their act together and do the work, because by 1 July, you will have your first 10 points, all right? All right, yeah, that's your first 10 points, okay. So today's lesson objectives are to do a quick revision on how to use present simple tense and present continuous tense. And then we will also do a quick review on how to use prefixes. This is how you pronounce the word, prefixes. And then, of course, homework, because I'm getting scores from people. All right, quick recap on our grammar for present simple tense and for present continuous tense. If you want to take notes, please feel free to take notes. But of course, you will always have access to the lessons and you can just revise on your own. So we use the present simple tense in 2 ways. We use it when we talk about actions that happen regularly. So regularly means that it happens more than one time and it happens at intervals. Maybe it happens once a week, twice a week, but it happens repetitively, okay? We also use the simple present tense to express habits or hobbies. We use it to talk about general truths or facts. And, oh yeah, the third one, that's the one I explained. You use it when you talk about actions that are repeated often, okay? And you also use it to talk about unchanging situations, emotions, and wishes. You also use it to talk about instructions and directions. For example, go straight, turn left, turn right. That's part of using the present simple tense when you're giving directions. Okay, and then on the other hand, we have the present continuous tense. I will go over all this, but the only trick you need to know when it comes to the present continuous tense is that you conjugate the verb and you add ing. That's it. That's all you need to really remember when it comes to the grammar rules. You have to take the verb and conjugate it by adding ing for most of them, okay? So how do you use the present continuous tense, and in which cases can you use it? You use the present continuous tense when you talk about actions that happen. No, when you talk about actions that are happening right now, you're talking about this very moment. And you also use the present continuous tense when you want to make clear that an action is temporary. Temporary means that something is happening right now and it will finish. That is temporary. Something is taking place right now, but it will come to an end. It will finish, okay? So the rules for the present continuous tense require you to take the verb and then add ing. For example, talk becomes talking, play becomes playing, move, moving, smile, smiling. So for our first activity, I have highlighted the present simple tense using green and then the present continuous tense using orange. So what we have here is that in order to help you, because we're going to do this together, what I've done is that I've given you some pointers here that for present simple tense, you need to make sure that it's a fact and that what you're talking about happens regularly. It happens often, more than one time. And then you use the present continuous tense to talk about something happening right now. So the verb plus ing. And it talks about temporary situations. Temporary means something that is happening now and it will finish. And you also use the present continuous tense when you want to mention future plans, okay? So now what we're going to do is that I will read the sentences. For example, number one, right now I'm taking part in a competition for young game designers. I read the sentence, and then we have the main phrase that is highlighted in purple. Can you tell me if this is present simple or present continuous? Very easy. Just try and analyze the sentence, okay? So first thing, right now I'm taking part in a competition for young game designers. Already the trick, verb plus ing. That means present continuous. And then the other trick, right now, at this very moment, that is present continuous. So I will underline this using the orange color. That's present continuous, okay? Number two, in a few months, I'm going on a kayaking trip with my cousin. Again, verb plus ing means present continuous. Another orange one. Number three, my friends and family say I'm a cheerful person. The verb was not conjugated. It was not changed. So I'm going to have to say present simple tense. Number four, this term I'm having tennis lessons. Very easy. Verb plus ing, that is present continuous. Number five, I live with my parents. We did not conjugate the verb, and I live with my parents seems like a fact. That is present simple. Okay, next exercise. Complete the sentences with the present simple or continuous form of the verbs in brackets. Guys, please make sure you try to take notes, but particularly using this table because I've used it in the first exercise and I'm using it in the second exercise to help us remember, okay? So for this exercise, it's on page 12. What we're going to do is that we're going to complete the sentence, but in brackets, we have the verb itself. So it's up to us to either conjugate the verb by adding ing, we should make it present continuous, or we do not change the verb. We just use the verb as it is, which makes it present simple tense, okay? So number one, the verb is get. Now you need to complete the sentence. I dash home at 5 o'clock every day. If it's something that happens regularly, that means we need to use present simple tense, so we do not change the verb. It's just I get home at 5 o'clock every day. Number two, mom dash work late this week. to me, it seems like something temporary. If it's only for this week, that means it seems like it's temporary. So present continuous, I would have to say, Mom is working late this week. Number 3, look at Dan. He dash not concentrate. We have the verb not concentrate. I would have to say there's no way we can say he not concentrate. That's grammatically incorrect. There's no way we can say he is not concentrate. That is also grammatically incorrect. So that means, look at Dan. He is not concentrating. By the way, in case someone is not very sure, to concentrate means to focus or to pay attention, okay? To not have any distraction. Number 4, dash you dash anything interesting next weekend, and the verb is do. So this is talking about next weekend. It hasn't happened yet, which is a future plan. So the answer would be, are you doing anything interesting next weekend? Because present continuous is used when you talk about future plans. Next is something that's going to happen in the future. Number 5, she dash the guitar and the piano. The verb is playing. Something that happens regularly. Play, okay, so the verb is play, and this is talking about something that happens regularly. I would say she plays the guitar and the piano. The last one, he always dash swimming on Saturdays. Oh, he always goes swimming on Saturdays because this is something that happens regularly. If it's on Saturdays, that means every Saturday. It's actually repetitive. It's happening every Saturday. Okay. The next one. Oh, okay. Oh, this was pretty interesting when I did this. I will explain number 3. Okay. Okay, first let's read. So stative verbs exercise. The definition, what is a stative verb? A stative verb is one used to describe a state or situation as opposed to an action or process. It can be physical or mental. It can be a physical or mental state. So now here, we don't use some verbs in continuous forms. These verbs are called stative verbs and include believe, hate, know, like, love, mean, need, own, prefer, understand, want. If you guys notice something about these verbs are related to feelings or a mental state. These verbs are expressing action, but they're actually about emotions as well. An example is, I love you. The verb there is love, and it's also a feeling, okay? So stative verbs express mental state or even feelings and emotions. So now, example, you can say, I don't understand this question. You cannot say, I'm not understanding this question, which is interesting because when I was also reading about this, I learned that, you know, the McDonald's phrase, I'm loving it, the one from McDonald's, apparently that is actually grammatically incorrect because you cannot say, I'm loving it. You can say, I love it. Man, grammar. Oh my goodness. So when you're using a verb to talk about feelings or mental state and emotions, it becomes a stative verb and you do not conjugate it. You do not add ing when you use a verb to talk about emotions or feelings, okay? So the term I'm loving it from McDonald's is actually grammatically wrong because you do not conjugate stative verbs. Stative verbs are verbs that help to describe emotions, feelings, and mental state, all right? So now let's do the exercise. So for this exercise, we have 5 sentences. We have the example already. It's been done for us. we will take our answers for, oh, come on. I showed the answers already. Why didn't I see that? Oh, I forgot to animate the answers for you to see the answers one by one. Oh, moment of silence, please. A moment of silence. I gave you the answers. You know what I do all the time, right? I always read the sentence and then show you the answer. I forgot to do that. I forgot to do the editing for that. So I gave you the answers. I made your life easier. I'm not supposed to make your life easy. Another moment of silence, please. Okay, let's just go through the answers. It's okay. It's okay because you have homework, so it's okay. Never mind. So number one, we're getting all our answers from this section. So number one, Ruby is very friendly. We really like her. There we go. I gave you the answer. Number two, if you read the instructions, it says you can use the answers either in their positive or negative form. So number two, I don't know how old he is. He looks about 14. We only have the stative verb no, which is positive, but we need it in the negative. Number three, what does this word mean? We have the stative verb mean here, okay, which is perfect. But now we just need the regular verb, which is what does this word mean? Does is not here from the verb do, which is okay because we already have the stative verb. Now you just have to complete the sentence. So we need the verb to do. So what does this word mean? Cannot believe I gave you the answers. Number four, I'm feeling miserable today. The word miserable, if you're not very sure, miserable means feeling bad when you don't feel too good. I'm feeling miserable today. I hate cold weather. Where is the term hate? Okay. Number five, you're speaking too quickly. I don't understand you. We have the stative verb understand, but we need it in the negative. So I don't understand you. I gave you the answers. I cannot get over that. All right. All right. Prefixes. So a prefix is a letter or group of letters added to the beginning of a word to make a new word. In other words, a prefix is when you add one or two letters to create a new word. You add this to another word, and now you have a new word. For example, the term expensive, when something is too pricey, expensive, right? But if you add the prefix inexpensive, now it's a new word. You're talking about something that is cheap. Another one, fair. Fair is when something is 50-50, right? When something is just good. Now, why do I keep mixing? Did you guys notice I keep mixing if you word and if you add? It's a Friday, guys. It's a Friday. Forgive me. So if you add the prefix un to the word fair, it becomes unfair. And that's a completely new word. Unfair is the opposite of fair. So that is a prefix. A prefix is a letter or a group of letters added to another word. You add it at the beginning of a word to create a different word altogether. So kind will become unkind. Expensive would become inexpensive. Visible would become invisible. Invisible means you cannot see something. Fair would become unfair. So the unfortunate thing about prefixes is that there is no proper rule as to how you know whether to use an, in, or im. For example, for a fact, we can only say inexpensive. We can say inexpensive. We cannot say unexpensive or inexpensive. That is wrong. We can only say inexpensive. But how do we know whether to use an, in, im? That is really unfortunate. Really, that is really unfortunate when it comes to grammar. There is no definite way or method for you to know that, okay, you know what? The prefix required is an, in, im. You just have to keep practicing your English, and that's why you have your English teachers. All right. Please make sure you know which prefix to use at the beginning of the word. In fact, you know what? I love you. So let me tell you, this is supposed to be unkind, inexpensive, invisible, unfair, unfriendly, unknown, unhealthy, unlucky, impatient. I am impatient, impolite. I am again. Okay. Yeah, impolite, and then unwell, right? Unwell. I had to make sure, like, what is it correct? And then incorrect. You need to know these terms because you will need them for your homework. You need them, okay? All right. Oh, assignment 1 for your notebook. Oh yeah, I've been speaking for like 20 minutes. Okay, time out. For your notebook, I need you guys to use your notebooks, any notebook. The reason why I'm asking you guys to use notebooks is because when you get the book, you don't have to do the pages we're covering right now. You already have the notes. But if I don't get your notebook on 1 July or 2 July, whenever we meet, if I don't get your notebook, then you have to do the work in your student book and your workbook, okay? So when I ask you guys to write in your notebook, it's so that when I check the notebook and I know that you understand, you will not have to do the work in your workbook, the work that we will have covered. You'll be safe. But if you don't do the notes, then when you get your workbook, you have to do the work, okay? So notebook, assignment number 1, you just have to choose the correct answer. Number 1, you have 2 options. You either say we have or we're having problems with the computers at the moment. The correct sentence is we are having problems with the computers at the moment. Just write the correct sentence. Number 1, the correct sentence is we are having problems with the computers at the moment. Number 2, I need some new shoes. Just write the correct sentence, okay? And then do everything else. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Google Classroom. Assignment number 2. You have 20 questions. It's multiple choice. You can either underline or highlight your answers, okay? So for the first section, questions number 1 to 5, those questions are based on the prefixes that we just covered, okay? So this is just an example. Number 1 is, I didn't recognize any of the actors in that film. They were all dash, I think, yeah, they were all dash, I think. So the answer would be, they were all unknown. So you see, you guys need to make sure you have the prefixes here. You need to make sure you have them because number 1, the answer is unknown. Do I have unknown here? No. Oh yeah. There we go. Unknown. So number 1 is unknown. So number 1 to 5 in your homework will be based on the prefixes. And then number 6 to number 13, I have to explain this properly, okay? And then we're done. You have to identify the words or phrase that needs to be removed from the sentence so that the sentence is correct. For example, number 6, she called him as a fool. This is wrong. The correct sentence is she called him a fool. So we need to remove as. You need to remove as. So that's the answer. Did you get it? Okay, one more time. Number 6 to 13. All the sentences are incorrect. They are wrong. Can you tell me which word or phrase is making the sentence incorrect? Number 6, she called him as a fool. That is grammatically incorrect. Why? Because we have the word as. Otherwise, the correct sentence will be, she called him a fool. The wrong word here, the word that should not be part of the sentence is as. So you highlight as. And then from number 14 to 20, just general grammar, all right? This is what your homework looks like. Number 1 to 5, you have to choose the correct prefix. And then number 6 to 13, the sentence is wrong. Why is it wrong? Can you highlight the words that makes the sentence incorrect? And then number 14 to number 20, general grammar. Please, oh, sorry guys, I'm recording at work. I'm at school. So please highlight your answer, or underline your answer. Okay, that's it guys. Have a good weekend and have a good upcoming week. See you again next Friday because you need 1 full week. I'll give you guys 1 full week, no problemo. Have a good weekend. Bye.